Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's show. Today I think we have some good news. We have construction spending released today. If I can spit that out, let's get to it so we can get this done. If you like this content, please go to CallDelToSell.com, find the tab that says on YouTube, click it, and it'll open up a page of QR codes. There you can use a smartphone to scan and get to the YouTube page, or you can just mouse over and click it on a PC. There you'll be able to subscribe to this little button over here and click the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you when each Friday's blog has been uploaded. Thank you. Well, alrighty, we've got our little bit of a intro there done that keeps us out of trouble with the Real Estate Commission. Let's go ahead and look at something that's also, I think, a little bit of a good news. Here we have our old favorite Mortgage News Daily. We have the 30-year fixed rate, and we see we did come up a little bit, not too far out of where we had been recently, but we're actually coming down here with this MBA, Mortgage Bankers Association, that came out yesterday. And look, it's down a little bit. Look at Freddie Mac, that's your government, that's down a little bit. And of course, we do see a little bit of a tick up in the daily rate from yesterday to today of 6.83%. And that would be for the entirety of the daily summary that Mortgage News Daily themselves conduct every day. So these others are, as you know, are weekly, and they're going to be less sensitive to noise. That's why we have so much more on the blue line. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. Now let's get to that press release. Now here we have, this comes from the U.S. Census Bureau. Out today for March, we see, and I'll put a bigger version of the graphic up as I kind of read this. We'll go to this left, the March spending's up, and then the construction spending. It shows a little bit of a down right here. We'll do this in the big picture in just a second. Now, if we look, we've got just a little bit of a trend down. It almost looks horizontal because of the degree of blur that is in this announcement where we took this graph from. It's essentially flat because that's what 0.5% plus or minus 0.8% would actually be. Just a little bit of noise on the end. On the public is the green and the private is the blue. A little bit more down in the private looks like. And we also see that we've got a bigger downturn back here in last year before the election. If we go back to the COVID around January of 20, we went ahead of time there before we finally came down before that took into effect. So we're not really off that much, are we? At least I don't think so. Total construction spending for March was estimated at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 2.196 there. That was in the trillions. Now, 0.5% plus or minus more than that percent, 0.8% below the February revised estimate of 2.2 trillion. The March figure, 2.8%, plus or minus 1.2%, at least that's a little bit better, above the March 24 estimate of 2 trillion point 1. All right. So what is that saying? Well, not a heck of a whole lot, to be honest with you. It's just suggesting that, quite honestly, construction spending is down a little bit. It's hardly even noticeable. It's less than 1%. It could be revised. We don't know. And anyway, if our construction spending is down, that either means that costs are coming down or we're slowing a little bit on what we're building out there. Either which way, that's not going to be bad news for buyers or sellers. So let's get to the wrap up on this and be done with it.
Hello, I'm Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, CallDelToSell. That's 1 L and Del, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today.
Well, yes, that's all well and good, isn't it? But what do you say we look at our numbers from this week? But first, last week's. For 24 of 25, we had 24,598 in the opportunities. That increased over the previous period. We had 4725 in the under contract still showing. That also went up a little bit over the previous period, and the ratio between those came down to 18%. This week, 5-1 of 25, we had 24,286, which is down a little bit over the previous period. In the opportunities, we had 46,20 in the under contract still showing. That also decreased just a tad, and the ratio went up at to 19%. Now this to me looks like it's going pretty well. We just looked in the previous segment at the Mortgage Bankers Association. We looked at Freddie Mac's, and we see that actually the mortgage rates are coming down. So I would kind of expect to see a nice little rebound in May. What do you think? Let me know. Tell me in the comments. Click and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Do all that stuff that all the social media people ask you to do. And we'll see you next week.